Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Dom and we're going to talk about unusual options activity. Alright, let's kick it off with the disclaimer. Now, we got a great show. I'm going to be switching up my strategy a little bit here. I've been doing a lot of thinking about it. But let's get to the disclaimer. So this video is for educational purposes only. Statements made in this programming are solely the opinion of the show and are not a specific inducement to make an investment. One must firm their own due diligence and realize all investments carry risk. There's no guarantee of profit. Okay, like I said, I've kind of been switching up my strategy a little bit here. We've been getting some trades that really are not profitable. And I'm kind of getting sick of having about 50% of these trades working, 50% not working. So I'm switching up my strategy. This is probably going to be one of the most educational videos that I posted. So it's probably going to be might be a little long, but I think NIO is a great way to showcase how I'm going to be switching up my strategy here. Now, first I want to talk about is taking my fundamental research and emotions out of the trade. None of that matters when the stock is going up. Obviously my fundamentals are important and such, but I think I need to be focusing more on the technicals, focusing more on the chart, trading with the trend here. Now the chart is really important here, using a bunch of different technical indicators. I don't really use a whole bunch of technical indicators, other than a select few. I think moving averages are really important, especially if you're a beginner. They're easy to understand, but I think you can read everything from a chart just by looking at it without any technical indicators. If you know what you're looking for, support and resistance levels, most importantly, trade with the trend. And it's also super important to analyze the activity here. Now, I've been really liking some of these short-term options here, because when somebody is coming in buying aggressively these short-term options, that means they expect the stock to make a move rapidly. And if the stock doesn't make a move, it's way easier to just cut your loss and get out, because the stock isn't making its move and the option expires. It's easy to cut your loss and move on to the next trade instead of buying a super far out call. Should you cut your loss? There's 3 months left in the trade, but you're down 50%. I usually cut my losses at 50%, so I'm pretty much done with the longer term option trades. Simply for that fact, I'm going to be getting into some of these shorter term trades here. Yes, they're more risky, but when people are coming in buying all of these calls here in NIO that expire this Friday, and another thing too, when they're coming in and buying these 50 strike calls, really far out of the money, short term calls trading is super important in my opinion. That means people are expecting that the stock is going to make a rapid move in a short amount of time. So either there's a news announcement, or the stock is just going to rocket higher. I've really been focusing on that, and I've talked about that on the channel. The past few videos, 4 videos I've made or whatever. And one big fish order, something that I've talked about on the channel quite a bit, is following one super large options order, following somebody that's putting down $2 million, $3 million on a trade. But personally, from my experience, I think that those are mostly just hedges, especially when other people are not jumping in and there's not a whole bunch of volume. Something else I want to bring up too, open interest is a plus if it's super small compared to the volume. In my opinion, look at all this volume here in NIO. NIO does trade a lot of contracts here, but that kind of is unusual for all of this volume here, especially in these 50 strike calls. So we're in these calls, everyone, and we'll see what happens. I think NIO was a great example to showcase how I'm going to be switching up my strategy a little bit here, tweaking it, trying to be more profitable here. Not that we're completely not profitable, but I don't think we've been performing as well as we could be. NIO here, obviously, trading with buying calls in this thing at the top, or on the way down is not a good idea here. The trend recently has just been grinding higher. It's broken through the 200-day moving average. We're about to have a golden cross, the 50-day crossing over the 200-day. This thing gapped up from 45 to about 55, filled that gap back down, found support at that level, even traded off the 200-day moving average here. Pretty much hit it to the penny intraday, bounced off that, closed actually higher than when it opened, as you can see from this green candle here. And it looks like we may be looking to fill that gap back up to 55, and I will definitely be out of this stock by then, because it is extremely short term. And yeah, it's extremely short term, and that is a heck of a move to make by Friday. So I'm looking for a double in these calls, and I'm going to be taking profits super quick. Now this one is a little bit different here. This next one I want to bring up, Mara. Now this one also, the chart kind of looks exactly like NIO here, where we're trading with the trend on the way up here, but this thing has had a significant sell-off, almost 60 or 70% or so. The chart is kind of looking a little weak here. It looks like we're finding we closed right at the 50-day moving average here. So I like that. I mean, I don't like that we broke it, but I like that we broke it and we were able to close right at the 50-day. Traders look at this. And if there's momentum in the stock, it's going to hold the 50-day moving average upon closing. It is concerning that we kind of dipped below that, but that's why I went out and I actually bought the stock in this one. And the implied volatility in these options is extremely high here. Almost 100% implied volatility. So you can buy stock and sell calls against it. Create some income here. Almost like a dividend stream. It's pretty reliable in my opinion. Unless the stock takes off to the upside and you're short the calls, so then you'll have to sell the stock at the strike price. But there's quite a bit of volume here in these January 2022 85 strike calls. Now I also saw some more volume in some of these shorter term July 16th ones. But I kind of took a flyer on this one. I think Bitcoin is probably going higher. This stock is a Bitcoin miner, probably one of the best in the whole stock market in my opinion. Picks and shovel play on Bitcoin. So there was some pretty big volume here. Like I said, the open interest is not very small on this one, so it's kind of a flyer here. But I was comfortable going out buying the stock here. It does look like it's kind of making a comeback here, and we might be able to make it up back to this 57 level. The people that were buying these January 2022 85 strike calls, that's like over 100% out of the money. So they're expecting a big move, by January 2022. And that's another thing too. I think that when people are buying further out calls like this, and you really like the company, the chart looks good, not completely divorcing your fundamentals from it, especially if you're going to go out and buy the stock. When people are buying especially far out of the money calls like this, but super long dated calls, it's worked out well for me to actually go out and buy the stock if I do like the company. So yeah, we took a look at the chart here. Chart is looking kind of a little weak here, but that's why we bought the stock. We're not gambling with time here, because we can just keep selling calls against our position and add to the stock as it trades down, which is what I will be doing. So thanks to everyone who's been subscribing. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Probably one of my most educational videos. I'll probably give it a little bit different of a title here. Hopefully it's not too long. I hope everybody learned something. Leave a comment down below if you got any questions. Make sure to share this video with somebody who loves trading, somebody who's trying to learn, because that's what we're here to do. We'll see you in the next one.